Today's Tuesday, August 31st, 2021, and this is going to be a rant video. And yeah, it's the end of August. That's crazy. I plan on doing another video on time. I just don't really know what to say about it other than, wow, it just seems to keep going faster and faster. These days really have just been going by so fast. Um, I've mentioned in times past I've gotten in these like cycles of every day at a certain time. I get like reminded, oh, how am I back to this point already? For whatever reason, these days, it's just been seeming like I wake up, do a little bit of stuff, and then I already have to start thinking about dinner. It seems like every day I have to start making dinner just so early every day. Of course, the clock tells me it's time to start making dinner, but alright, that's all I'm going to say about time. Leave comments about time if there's anything that you've been running into with time moving more quickly. It does feel like it's been gradually continuing to speed up. This has just been the shortest year ever. We're already 3/4 of the way through the year. Seems impossible. Okay, today's video, I'm just going to rant about since when did everybody become such a giant bundle of sticks? I have no idea. It's been a slow process. And back in the day, people would call you a narc if you were gonna tell on people for breaking the rules. And it was frowned upon to just be a dirty little rat and tell on people for things that it's like back in the day we had stupid rules, but it was more of a understood thing that you're not going to be a rat and you're not going to just follow something because it's a rule. And it just seems like these days everybody is such a rule follower. They're afraid more than anything to break any little rule. And I often think of how people try to play it off as if Jesus would be okay with all of this stuff. But if you read the Bible, Jesus was not a little rule follower. And just read about how he went into the temples and started flipping tables and getting people out of there with a whip. Do you think that that was part of the rules of going to temple back in the day? I don't think so. So I've just noticed that it has been amped up to a whole new level. People I know in times past that were more punk, gonna break the rules, they just are the biggest rule followers I've ever seen in my life now. I don't know what it is, whatever's switched in their brain. I think a lot of people are running on just fear programming. From my personal experience, so I just know my mom used to be much more of a punk rock, gonna break the rules person. And these days, yeah, just following all the little rules. I know that she knows it's stupid, but she's just such a little rule follower now and loves to talk about. I'll just mention this. Maybe you guys have heard this too. Do you guys know people that they talk about wanting vaccines for everything? I think it's this weird like Stockholm syndrome. I think a lot of people are, yeah, afraid of dying, and so they think that the medical system will stop them from dying. And instead of just doing things like eating right, exercising, and taking care of yourself, these people think that doctors have all the answers. And so I don't know, just something about my mom will make comments about, oh, I wish there was a vaccine for that. I would go take it. It's just this weird. I just think it's Stockholm syndrome. Part of them must know that vaccines are evil, but they've just bought into it. Anyways, uh, mask rant. I guess I'll just rant about masks. The one thing, the whole school and children thing, I don't know what to say about it other than it's child abuse. Those children are not consenting to it. They're being forced into it. They don't want to do it. There's no real reason to do it. I don't even want to talk about the how they don't serve a purpose other than mind control, and it's forced. Now we have Sharia law in America, but it's for everybody, not just the women. Not just the women have to cover their faces. Now everybody is forced to cover their faces in public. I live in Oregon, and they're going crazy with it here, and Oregon's the 33rd state, so you can expect some some strange things to come out of Oregon. And yeah, Oregon has really ramped stuff up again. Just so, here, I don't want my screen to turn off. So one thing I'll rant about this is just trying to explain to people, go back 10 years and try to explain to yourself 10 years ago what's happening today in a way that it doesn't sound just out of control, ludicrous. And yeah, it's just not possible. Because everything today, none of it makes sense. They don't even try to make it make sense. And it's just nobody has a backbone anymore. Everybody's a giant bundle of sticks. So whatever the talking heads say the new rule is, that's what it's going to be. Everybody's lost their bite, it seems. And it's just so few and far between. It's too easy for those in control to shut down anybody. And yeah, I mean, people are really scared. Like, I guess I'll just tell one story. I've been into a place and I didn't feel like wearing a mask. Oregon reinstated the thing. I don't judge you if you put on a mask so that you're not bothered by people. I have no problem with that. I don't think that wearing a mask is the mark of the beast. I just think it's retarded and serves no purpose, obviously. And other than just the social conditioning thing. And this is the way that it's going to be. So I just didn't want to wear a mask, and I didn't make it a huge thing. But the guy was like, I don't want to get fired. The reason that this guy was trying to make me wear a mask, he didn't want to get fired. People really are afraid of getting fired for not enforcing just whatever mandate, and it's so arbitrary. It's like 2 days ago, no problem, but today they're afraid of getting fired if they don't mandate something, if they don't force me to do something. And this just goes into the bundle of sticks thing. Where's your backbone? You're a healthy young man, and you're really gonna sit here and enforce such a stupid thing that most of these people, they know it's stupid, but yeah, they're just afraid of their job. Tangent into the everybody knows it's stupid thing, but they just go along with it. Even the most pro-vax people that I know understand that the masks are stupid and they don't do anything. But it's just, I almost think it's kind of funny at a certain point, like, jokes on them. Like, you're dumb for going along with any of it, because look, you're going along with all their BS and you're still being forced to look retarded and to go along with something that makes no sense. So I just think it's kind of a funny thing on the people who, which is like a large number of people, who they're very into the vax thing, but they know that the mask thing is dumb. I think it's just funny that they're forced to go along with the mask thing too. You went out, you got all your shots, you're gonna get all your boosters, and look, you're still being forced to do this stupid thing. So I just think it's kind of funny. And that kind of brings me into one topic I want to mention. You see this idea happen a lot for a lot of different things. And I've just been talking about this with a couple different people. The idea of there's all sorts of, it's like a game theoretical game out there. And the way that these games work, it's a really strange type of game that people decide to play, where there's absolutely no way to win the game. All that you can do is lose by playing this game. However, if you decide to play the game, the more and more and more effort that you put into it, the less you can lose. So let me try to explain this one more time. Suppose there's this game out there, and somebody says, you can come play this game, you're guaranteed to lose. If you decide to play the game, you start out losing $500. However, the more and more and more you play, the less money you can lose. Why would anyone want to go play that game? But that's exactly what happens with all of these. Most of them are kind of these Blue Lodge things. It's deciding to play the game of environmentalism, agreeing that humans are the cause of everything, and not even just that the little man is at fault. So let me just give one example, and then I'll explain how the whole mask thing and the plane pandemic thing is one of these games. So you can either decide that, yes, the little man is responsible for all of these horrific climate change problems in the world, and what you do is you buy into this game, and now you put in this enormous effort into, well, I'm going to recycle, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, do all of these things to lessen their debt, because what they're saying is, oh, I am responsible for all of these horrible things, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that, so I'm less in debt. But do you see how you'll never be a net positive? In these people's minds, just being a human is inherently evil and destructive to Mother Nature worship, basically. And so they'll never be a net positive. They can recycle everything. They can do everything as green as possible. It'll never be enough, and they'll never dig themselves out of the pit. Or you can just say, I'm not going to play that game. It's not my fault, any of this stuff. Go talk to the huge corporations that are spewing sludge and stuff. It's not the little man's fault. So that's just an example of, it's stupid to go play those games where everybody loses and all you can do is try to dig yourself out of the pit. Just don't play the game. It's not my fault. That stuff really is not my fault. And I'm not saying that we should just go litter everywhere. It's just, don't play those mind games of taking the blame for things that just really aren't your fault. And so, just to talk about it in the sense of this playing Pandemic thing, I just don't play Pandemic. I don't play that game. I don't buy into any of that stuff. It's just not a game that I'm playing. For the people who decide to play it, everybody starts on huge negative, and what it is the more effort and the more that you can do to play the Pandemic, it like digs you out of your hole. But you'll never be good enough. You could be Bubble Boy and you'll still be able to find things that you're doing wrong in terms of what you could have been doing for a pandemic. And I think that's a big reason behind, why does the little barista coffee person yell at you because your mask is under your nose? It's because they're playing Pandemic, and that's digging them out of the hole a little bit more to be an enforcer. Being an enforcer makes these people more virtuous. And now they're doing their part. They're a part of something. People so desperately want to be a part of something. And man, I've already ranted. Let's just get through this video. I have some things to say about Red Lodge, Blue Lodge. This whole thing has been a long time coming. I guess right now I'll briefly mention that I made a video about how the year 2020, it's one of those inversion things. 2020 typically means hindsight. I think that they did a whole spell casting ritual with 2020. 2020 is not hindsight, it's foresight. Everything that happened in 2020 was just laying the foundation for how things are gonna be in the beast system. What I keep getting just feelings of is 9/11. It all goes back to 9/11. 9/11 happened how long ago? And people are still taking their shoes off at the airport, as far as I know. So none of this plain Pandemic stuff is gonna go away. I don't think. I think it's only downhill from here. So it's been a long time coming. I made a video. I'll link it in the description, the 2020 video. And I made a video talking about how 2021 was going to be the year of the shot. And I think that has clearly come true. So I don't know what's in the future. Just what I think is, it's only going to get worse from here. That's the only feeling that I have about the future at this point. It can only get worse from here. And actually this is what I think is the future. Matthew chapter 10, verse 35. I've been seeing this happen in my family. And so I'll just briefly explain. I have one aunt who did not get it, and all of her sisters are hounding her about it, and my grandma is even refusing to visit her. This has got to be so common. So I think this is happening biblically, and it's happening with my wife. Her family keeps bugging her about it. And I just made a community post the other day. I should have put that here, just because it's just such a feeling that I have, that nobody really cares anymore. Nobody really is your neighbor anymore. Nobody really is caring or any of those things. However, everybody feels like they can tell you how to live their life. And to me, there's just something so hypocritical and ironic about the whole thing, about how everybody is so antisocial today, but they feel like they can make personal decisions for you about your body. And it's just mind-blowing to me. Uh, Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Just don't be a part of it. Don't play the game. Just don't. I know it sucks when you have to go shopping and stuff. That's the worst part. It really does suck. Um, it is what it is. We live in the New World Order, and it's going to be worldwide Sharia law on everybody, forced face coverings, and I don't know what to say about it. It really sucks. It'd be great if there were more community. You just have to either find a community or create a community where you're able to do these things without having to do all that stuff. Uh, I'll just end it here. God bless everyone.